Hey, good evening. Wixman Ray here. Thank goodness it's Friday. It's actually Friday night now. It's almost 10 o'clock here Central Time. I'm getting a late start. Yeah. It's May 8th, 2026. We're already through the first week of May, going into the second week. Can you believe that? Kind of a coolish start to May for a good part of at least the northern half east of the Rockies area. Cooler, pretty cool start to May, anyways. So yeah, here we go. So we got a couple systems going on here. We got our upper level shortwave trough moving through parts of the northern Rockies through the Great Basin. Um, Most of the precip with this is just up into Montana. There's a little bit, I think, over Colorado, really weak stuff. But most of this stuff from Idaho and down through Nevada, northern Nevada and Utah and Wyoming, I think, mostly just some high clouds. So it's looking a little more ominous than what it really is. But this whole feature is going to move southeast with the way the jet stream's moving, and that'll help. That'll bring another system out here to the middle part of the country and to the east as we get through the weekend. So we got another wave moving out of Canada. Looks like there's probably going to be some precipitation with that. Some showers up north there, North Dakota and Minnesota. Another weak wave going through Idaho, not Idaho, but Iowa. Gosh, man, what's wrong with me? My geography lately. And Wisconsin. So a few showers, I think, embedded in that little wave. Um, and then there's a few other waves. Most of them are up in the Canadian side, not really affecting the U.S. And then we've got this wave that moved through, Illinois, Missouri, and all the way down into Oklahoma. Got some thunderstorms down here in Oklahoma. Um, I think they're down into Arkansas a little bit near Fort Smith, and some showers and thunderstorms in Missouri. As you get from like Illinois eastward, this is mostly just rain and rain showers out through here. Is just not enough stability or instability, I should say. It's a little too stable, so they're just getting regular old rain. And then we got this other wave. This is really the remnants of an old front down here, but we got a little bit of a shortwave trough helping to, you know, gosh, I can't, I'm tired, to, energy, keeping some thunderstorms going down through here through Louisiana. And I think there's some showers back to the east here. Okay. We'll take a look. I can't remember what I saw earlier when I did a quick overview. Um, but yeah, we still got this is kind of the subtropical jet too, kind of running down here from Texas up through the south and up through the mid Atlantic. So yeah, so we still kind of got that split flow. There's actually an upper low sitting right in this area where is that the Big Bend of Texas? I always forget if it's this one or this one. But anyways, right here in this area, it's near northern Mexico and Texas border over here. Really not a whole lot of precipitation with that upper low. It'll pick up some moisture though as it moves east over the weekend across the south, so that'll keep the storms going over for the next couple days. Um, all right, so that's it for the satellite view. This is our infrared, just as a reminder, or for those who might be new here. This is measuring the cloud top temperatures. So yeah, you can tell these are thunderstorms just by kind of the way I just know this as a meteorologist because of their appearance, but they're also very cold and you start seeing those reds and those specks of black in it. You got thunderstorms. Same thing down here. Got some yellows and reds, so you got some higher top thunderstorms there. All right, we're going to our Aviation Weather Center. Surface observations, courtesy of the Aviation Weather Center. That's what I meant to say. But like I said, I'm tired and my words aren't coming out right tonight. Okay, this is slow to update for me. Okay, there's my obs. So we got some showers, mostly back into Montana, a little bit in northern Wyoming. there's that other wave I was telling you about with a bunch of rain coming down into parts of northern Minnesota and North Dakota and parts of eastern Montana. So yeah. Temperatures aren't too bad though with this. A lot of 60s and 70s, a few 50s where the rain's fallen, so a little cooler back behind this. Looks like it's kind of a weak little front, so nothing too big to deal with. Pretty nice weather out here. It's well, it's almost 10, so it's almost 8 o'clock out there on the west coast. So Seattle's 60 degrees, 66 in Portland, so not bad for evening out there. 70 at Medford, 76 in Medford, 78 in Reno, very nice, 74 in Elko, 75 in Salt Lake City, and 96 in Las Vegas. And just for the heck of it, let's see what St. George is doing. They're 92, so they're hot. They're getting hot down there too. At least it's not in the triple digits yet. Yeah, we got some upper 90s, mid to upper 90s down there, Phoenix, and then the southern deserts down there of Arizona and California. Yep, we won't go through the whole thing. The Central Valleys are in the 70s and 80s this evening, so pretty nice summer-like weather almost there, or at least spring-like weather. Pretty nice out there in parts of Texas. Yeah, they got a little rain down here, showers. That's with that old, with that wave of that old frontal system. Got a few showers, maybe a couple thunderstorms embedding in there, some over the Gulf, and then got a couple out here in Louisiana. So not too widespread, and then pretty nice weather. Looks like a little bit of misty fog developing in parts of Texas out here, down by Houston, and out here at Fort Hood. So. And then we got these thunderstorms here erupting across northeast Texas and southern Arkansas. Nothing severe, but some pretty good storms going through. Several severe thunderstorm warnings as these storms move out of Oklahoma and into northern Texas here. So those ones are misbehaving a little bit. Elsewhere, these look like dying thunderstorms that are just some little bit of rain left with them. A couple thunderstorms up here to the north. Up near Okmulgee. I've been there many, many moons ago. Met my grandma there. One of my aunts or something was up there. So my grandma was visiting. This was 30 something years ago. So I went and saw her, visited her in Okmulgee, Oklahoma. That's how I remember it. But they got a severe warning over that area and just to the southeast of there. A couple pretty strong storms. A severe storm moving east of Fort Smith, Arkansas, with some severe severe thunderstorm warnings going on there. And then north looks like a bunch of showers, maybe some embedded thunder in that. Same thing out in Missouri, showers, a little bit of thunder and lightning, but nothing severe up here. Probably the same story out into Illinois. There could be a little few strike embedded storms with some lightning in this, even over into Indiana possibly. But as you get eastward, it's just mainly just rain. This isn't really a front either. This is just like an upper level disturbance kind of moving through the atmosphere. So you get getting a little bit of rain there, pretty good rain with that, given given that it's not really a front. So I guess you could say it's a weak front, but you don't really have a wind shift. I mean, the winds are still out of the south, north of it, so that's why I'm not calling it a front. So, although the air is cooler, but it has been cooler before that. And then we got some along that old frontal boundary, some showers up here across parts of northern Florida. A couple thunderstorms out here near Jacksonville, it looks like, in northern Florida, and then up through Dothan, Alabama, and into Albany, Georgia, and over here towards Savannah. Some rain going on. So some unsettled weather in parts of the U.S. So it's kind of what's going on. Still kind of cool. I mean, it's 10 o'clock at night in the 60s, so I guess that's not too bad, but got some 40s going on up here in the Northeast, so still chilly up there. They haven't really seen a big warm up in at least what, a week and a half, 2 weeks. I can't remember when they had that warm air. That maybe that was, it's been over a week, I think. So yeah, that's what's going on there. We'll go to our model now here, and we'll start right out. Kind of what we saw. This is through midnight tonight. This might be a little underdone for Montana. It seemed like we saw a little more in the way of rain out here, but it's got the general idea, I guess. We saw this precip out in this part of the country. Even that, it looks like it's a little underdone with that. These are the little waves moving through the Great Lakes. Here's that other upper level. You know what? Since I'm talking about upper level, so let's just get through this surface chart, and then we'll come back to it. But this is that what I didn't call a front. It's not really a front, maybe a surface trough, but it's more of an upper level feature, upper level shortwave trough moving through the atmosphere with the rain and thunderstorms. And then we got all this activity across the south, and this is just kind of a little bit of energy with the subtropical jet, and yeah, and also that influence of that low that's back here that I'll show you right now, because I was going to show you this initially and I kind of got ahead of myself. So yeah, so here's the upper level flow for that same time frame at through midnight tonight. This is at 500 millibars, which is approximately 18,000 feet above sea level. So we say that because, you know, not everyone is at sea level in the United States, especially as you get out west, you have a lot of higher elevation. So this is a smooth plane, I guess, in the atmosphere above the earth. So anyways, that's the best way to explain it. So here's that wave that's coming out of Canada into Montana, Idaho, a little short wave, and you see this yellows and reds and oranges. This is what we call our vorticity, which causes upward motion and clouds and precipitation. And sometimes just clouds and not precipitation. It just depends on other factors like how much moisture is available low in the lower atmosphere, and how strong the dynamics are, those kind of things. So several factors go into that. And then you got a broad ridge across the west. That's why you've been starting to see 90s out here across Las Vegas, Phoenix, and parts of Southern California. So yeah, so we got this ridge across parts of the west here. So that's why it's drying out through here. With those little waves kind of coming over the top of the ridge through the northern Rockies there, and these things keep coming down. See this flow here? It's going from northwest to southeast, and that's bringing all these systems. So here's that upper low that I showed you that's out here near the Texas. It looks like it's near the Texas border and the Mexico side, but there's a lot of energy out ahead of it, and that's why we're seeing those showers and thunderstorms down to the south. They may start breaking out a little more to the north. We'll see what happens, especially as we go through tomorrow, as they start picking up that moisture from the Gulf here. And here's that wave that's causing all them storms over Missouri and all the way out through Ohio area through there. Here's that other wave that was up north, and there's another little wave. You could probably pick out three or four, but yeah, so those are what we call little shortwave troughs. So, but these are probably the four major ones: one, two, three, four, and then there's another one down here, and that's where we saw some of that activity down here across Georgia and Alabama and Florida. So, all right, so as we head into Saturday, so this wave that moves pretty quick. So that one that was over Missouri there by Saturday midday, it's along the East Coast and the Mid Atlantic, and then it's gone by tomorrow evening. It's moved off into the Atlantic, so they're pretty quick movers. So that's what happens with that one. I won't talk any more about that one. This one out here, we'll talk about this one. This one's going to come down. It moves a little bit slower because it's trying to strengthen a little bit as it comes out of the Rockies. But as you get into Saturday, late Saturday into Sunday, that's going to develop some more precipitation and a little bit of a front out here through the center part of the country with showers and thunderstorms. And we'll show you that, but that's coming out uh, over Saturday and Sunday out of the Rockies and into the plains there. And then Up north, we just keep seeing these little waves moving across, rotating, and this whole upper low with this low pressure kind of starts to shift a little bit as this ridge looks like it's building, tries to build all the way across the west and even through the, the high plains, trying to build into the central, into the plains here in the central part of the U.S. And that's why we're going to start seeing the heat building back through here early next week, like starting, it may start up a little bit on Sunday, but Monday and Tuesday. Although this little feature here is going to come down early next week and cause another front, so that'll disrupt it. But that's what we're seeing. This ridge is trying to establish itself, its dominance over the west there, and spill over into the plains a little bit. So we'll go back a little bit in time here again. We talked about these two major waves. So this one down here in Texas, so for tomorrow, it kind of ejects out into Texas, and it kind of it's right here tomorrow night on Saturday night, and then it kind of weakens, and some of the energies over the southeast here, so there might be some lingering. There's going to be probably some lingering precip out here on Sunday evening, but a lot of that energy's moved away. But then that's that new one that we saw coming out of the Rockies, so that's going to be the dominant feature, and that dips all the way into the south as we move into Monday and Tuesday. So, and this same thing kind of combines forces. Yeah, so that's going to create like a front, but there's two pieces of energy. You got the southern piece and the northern piece, and you'll kind of see them split off. And I'll show you that. I think that happens on Sunday or Monday. I can't remember what day, but and then you got this next one that this one kind of skirts through the northwest on Sunday, and then comes over and around on early next week. But we'll only probably go through Monday or Tuesday on our forecast, anyways. So that was a little long-winded, but even through Tuesday, see that ridge? The It's really getting strong out here. That ridge of high pressure. These little systems are now trying to beat it down, but they're kind of getting deflected. It looks like they may by mid-week make it into parts of the west there and kind of try to break down the ridge a little bit. So we'll see what happens there, but we won't go that far. We're not going to talk about that because we're getting long and I'm tired. All right, so we'll go back here. We'll go back in time here to where we were. So this is where we were. So the surface reflection. So as we go through, so this is all the way through tomorrow. So you kind of see this feature back here. We'll talk about that. So by tomorrow evening, it starts bringing precip out onto the plains. You see a low developing back here and some precip breaking out across Missouri, Oklahoma, Kansas, especially so we'll see some showers and storms develop later tomorrow afternoon and evening out here. And you get a little front that develops and it kind of goes back up here. And that was that northern piece I showed you. Um, this will probably be mostly rain back through here, but somewhere along this line, I don't know if it's going to be Ohio or Indiana, but this will turn into showers and thunderstorms. So that whole feature kind of comes out of the Rockies, and then this dries out because that ridge is building in back here to make it dry and warmer. Not quite hot yet, but at least in the south it'll be hot, but it'll get warmer. And then you see by that I already went ahead a little bit, so I got ahead of myself. So that's that first system. These are these two systems. The one out here in Texas we'll talk about that's coming out of Texas, so that's tonight. So you see that activity, it looks like it develops overnight and through the morning. It gets a little more wet across Texas overnight and through the morning. And then that kind of spreads across the south and has general showers and thunderstorms. Kind of similar to what we see today out there, but probably a little more widespread. And then as we head through Sunday, it starts to dry out. You got some lingering stuff, but that like I told you, by Sunday that energy is weakened and moved east of into the Atlantic. And here's what I was talking about. So, and then this is that other wave here that I talked about, that one that was over this part of the country. So see how quickly it moves up here by tomorrow midday, and by tomorrow evening it's gone. It's out here. I mean, it's still a little bit of rain along Cape Cod and Boston up to Maine a little bit, but for the most part it's moving out to sea. Definitely by Sunday it's gone. So Sunday morning. So but yeah, and then this is that next front that develops. So that system that was coming out of Canada out here in Montana will combine with this low that we saw that was moving eastward. The upper feature will develop a front that runs across here on late Saturday. And then, like I said, the two pieces kind of break apart. You get the northern part. You'll have a little rain trailing back here, maybe some thunderstorms back through this part, Ohio, Pennsylvania area, maybe New York, but it'll be wet across the northeast. But then you kind of have the southern moisture from that wave that came down here, and there'll be showers and thunderstorms across Oklahoma, Arkansas, and even parts of the south here. So this is on Sunday by midday, and by the afternoon, this area, that's that whole system. And this is kind of the remnants of the front, so that's why you're seeing some spotty like rain showers, maybe a couple thunderstorms along there. Well, just I don't know how much instability there's going to be, but this is late Saturday or Sunday evening, Sunday night. So yeah, and and then you see that next wave is coming over, skirting over, and there's that low, and that's by Monday night, Monday evening, and that'll be the next system on Tuesday. So that's as far as we go. But this system here on Monday will move across the southeast and the mid-Atlantic as that front. It's still a front, but it's weakening as it moves south. But you'll still have a lot of rain on Monday across the southeast and the mid-Atlantic, and then by Tuesday it gets shoved out to the east over the ocean, and then kind of left over rain and storms over Florida on Tuesday. So, and then you got this one developing out over the Midwest and the Great Lakes on Wednesday. It looks like some thunderstorms break out late Tuesday night, but that's all we'll say about that for now. We'll just look at our storm prediction outlook, and I'll get this done with. Okay, hold on. So yeah, remember we saw a couple severe warnings out here in this area. So over Oklahoma, maybe North Texas through tonight for the next several hours. Still a marginal risk up into Missouri, although I think that threat's gone away for the most part, and then along the Gulf Coast. But even down here, I think that'll threat was weighing linger. I can't think of the word. Sorry, I'm just tired. And then looks like another little chunk with that energy that was farther south. So, yep. And then tomorrow, Saturday, um, looks like Oklahoma, some parts of not Arkansas, Kansas, and even back into the high plains here and up to Denver, some marginal risk, anyways, as that stuff comes out from this northern system, get some showers and storms developing. But Oklahoma looks like it's under the gun. A little bit of tornado risk, a little bit more of a hail risk, but yeah, not too bad. And then there's still kind of a marginal risk all along the Gulf Coast through Texas coast down there. So maybe a couple isolated, and then I got a couple areas up here. So something to watch. That'll be as that front develops up in this area, and then this is that feature that was out here today. So they're thinking there might be a little marginal risk up there around New Jersey and parts of Pennsylvania there. So that was for Saturday. On Sunday, this probably looks like the best threat. They put a slight risk from a good chunk of Texas and Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Louisiana. The Arklatex is right in that region. So yeah, so there's a slight risk through there, kind of a marginal risk through the whole South. So yeah, that's what it looks like on the convective outlook. That's all I got for you folks tonight. I appreciate you watching. Maybe I should get closer to the camera. Maybe you can't hear me. Like I said, if you couldn't hear me well, I appreciate you all. I had to sit back in my chair. My back's starting to hurt. But anyways, hey, share us with your friends, your family, and let everybody know about us. Let everyone know about us. I shouldn't do videos at 10 o'clock at night. Sounds like a idiots here. Anyways, hey, that's it. You have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Wixman Ray out.